continuous. All right. And file 1B, which we are going to do today, is a review of the present simple. When you arrive in semester 4 next semester, you are going to start with file 2A, which is a review of the past simple. So in this first part of the blue book, you have a general review, which was file 1A. Then file 1B is a review of the simple present or present simple, and 1C is a review of the present continuous. When we studied the present perfect, we saw the difference between simple tense and perfect tense. Yeah, and we saw that simple tenses talk about one moment in our timeline. Yes, and perfect tenses talk about two moments or more of our timeline. So every time you see a grammar text that says simple, it means we are going to talk about one specific moment of our timeline. Yes. Now in file 1B, we are going to have a review of the present simple. We're going to see the use of description of our routine, description of people, opinion, truths, laws of nature, laws of science. Yeah, we use all of these in the present simple. So I'm going to show you the materials that are on Google Classroom, which I recommend you download them so you can have this material for your future. I'm going to enter Google Class. And all right, here. These are the materials for file 1B. All right. Now we have the word board. We're going to have a look at it in a couple of minutes. And then, class, there is this PDF here. This PDF file is a review of the present simple. It is the material I give students when they are in semester 1. Can you see? So here we have the use of the present simple. When do we use the present simple? Yeah, and then the situations for repeated or regular actions in the present time period, like every hour, every 5 minutes, every 3 minutes, repeated or regular actions. We use the present simple to talk about facts. The president of the USA lives in the White House. A dog has 4 legs. I don't speak Japanese. Shopping centers in Brazil open on Sundays. Museums usually close on Monday for conservation. So these are facts. All right. We use the present simple for habits. Yeah. I get up early every day. Carol brushes her teeth twice a day. Do you go to CCB every day? So habits and routine. We use the present simple for things that are always true or generally true. Yeah. For example, it rains a lot in winter. It doesn't rain much in Ceará, Brazil. The Queen of England lives in Buckingham Palace. Oh, class, I have to change this because now we have a king. The King of England lives in Buckingham Palace. They speak English at work, so facts or things that are always or generally true. I use the present simple or simple present to express opinion about things, people, places, actions, all right? Like, I love chocolate. If I want to describe somebody, she is tall, slim, and elegant. It's a wonderful film. I really enjoy reading fiction books. I love studying English. British people use the next verb with ing after verbs like love, like, hate, mind, don't mind, enjoy. Yeah. American people use the infinitive. I love to study English. We don't like studying for exams. So when we want to express our opinion about whatever, all right? So this is when. when I use the present simple. Then we have to remember how to use the present simple. Yes? And the present simple is the only grammar tense in which there is a difference in the third person singular. He, she, and it. He, she, and it take a different termination. Yeah. So in general, we'll add s to the third person. Like I live, you live, he, she, it lives. We, you, they live. This is the general rule. But there are other rules that we have to remember. They are, for verbs that end in an O, CH, SH, SS, X, or Z, British, Z, American, we add ES to the third person singular. And here we have examples of go, goes, catch, catches, wash, washes, kiss, kisses, fix, fixes, buzz, buzzes. All right? For verbs that end in a consonant plus Y, we drop the Y and add IES to the third person singular. So marry, marries, study, studies, carry, carries, worry, worries. Now, for verbs that end in a consonant plus Y, just add S to the third person singular. Play, plays, enjoy, enjoys, say, says. Yeah. Now, to form the negative and the interrogative of action verbs, we need some help. All right? So when we have action verbs and verbs of feeling, we need some help. We need an auxiliary to make the negative, the interrogative, and the short answer. Because these verbs are not strong verbs. The verb to be is strong. The verb to be makes the interrogative, the negative, the short answer. Every time I have the verb to be, every time I have the verb to be is the boss. The verb to be just plays around, and the verb to be does everything. Yeah, interrogative, negative, short answer. But when we have verbs of feeling, emotion, like love, like, hate, and verbs of action, such as study, eat, fix, and verbs that talk about action, yeah, we need helpers, we need auxiliaries. And the auxiliaries in the present simple are do and does. Yeah, so does is for the third person, he, she, it. So do becomes don't, and does becomes doesn't. Yeah, I do, I don't. Do I? Yes, you do. No, you don't. You do, you don't. Do you? Yes, I do. No, I don't. He does, he doesn't. Does he? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. She does, she doesn't. Does she? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. It does, it doesn't. Does it? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. We do, we don't. Do we? Yes, you do. No, you don't. You do, you don't. Do you? Yes, we do. No, we don't. They do, they don't. Do they? Yes, they do. No, they don't. Remember that when we have a yes-no question, we have rising intonation. Do I? Do you? Now, as I was saying before, action verbs and verbs of feeling are different from the verb to be. The verb to be is very powerful. Yes? So if the verb to be is present, the verb to be is the boss. The verb to be makes a affirmative, interrogative, negative, and short answers. But other verbs, no. Other verbs need auxiliaries. Yeah? And they are arch enemies, class. You don't find the verb to be and auxiliary verbs together. So you don't have a sentence, for example, do you be? Does he is? No. You either use the verb to be or the auxiliary. All right? They are never together. You will not find them together in sentences. Yeah? So to be as strong, it doesn't need help. Action verbs, they need help. And the help is the auxiliary. Yeah. And to put the auxiliary in the sentences, we need to learn the two formulas, asi and quasi. All right. The asi formula are the questions of yes or no. Yeah, so auxiliary, subject, infinitive. And I can also ask a question with an adverb of frequency. Look, auxiliary, subject, adverb of frequency, infinitive. So let's look at some examples. Do you study English at CCB? Does she like Harry Potter books? Don't you play computer games? Doesn't he eat meat? Do they usually read books in English? Doesn't she always do it? So here I have put two examples of adverbs of frequency in a question. When you want to insert an adverb of frequency, it comes before the infinitive. All right, so this is the asi formula. But we have the big formula too, the quasi formula. Question, word, or words, auxiliary, subject, infinitive minus 2. When I have an adverb of frequency, it comes before the infinitive. So look at some examples. The part in bold is the part which corresponds to the question, word, or words. Where do you study English? What kind of books does she like? Which local team do you support? What kind of food doesn't he eat? What time do you wake up? When do you usually go to the beach? What kind of books do you enjoy reading? What kind of TV series or shows do you usually watch? Which Brazilian singers from the northeast of Brazil do you like? So all of these class here are the QU. Which Brazilian singers from the northeast of Brazil? Question words. Do you like? So very, very important it is for us to know how to put the adverb of frequency and the auxiliary in a sentence. This formula is also used in the past simple or simple past, remember? Now, what else do we have to have a look at? The pronunciation. One thing is how we write the third person, the affirmative, the interrogative, the negative, the intonation. But when we have the affirmative, the third person S, we have 3 different ways of pronouncing the third person S. We can pronounce the third person S as is, as s, and z. All right, they are rules that depend on the sounds. So when the base form, when the infinitive minus 2 ends in a sibilant sound, pronounce the final S is. So the sibilant sounds are s, sh, zh, sh. Yes, all right. So when the base form finishes in a sibilant sound, we pronounce the final S is. Now, when the base form, the infinitive minus 2, ends in an unvoiced sound, a sound that has no vibration of the vocal cords, except sibilants, because if it ends in a sibilant, we pronounce is. All right, so when the base form ends in an unvoiced sound except sibilants, we pronounce the final S. Yeah. And when the base form, the infinitive minus 2, ends in a voiced sound, the ones that has vibration, all right, except sibilants, because if it is a sibilant, it finishes with is. We pronounce the final S, z. Now, teacher, voiced, unvoiced, sibilants, all right? So, if we look at the phonetic chart, all the vowel sounds have vibration. And the vowel sounds are not sibilants. Only consonants are sibilants. So all the vowels All the vowel sounds have vibration. All right, class. So if it finishes with a vowel sound, you're going to pronounce Z. Now, the consonants can be voiced, unvoiced, or sibilant. The voiced sounds, the sounds with vibration, are the blue sounds. Yeah, the blue sounds are the ones with vibration. The most important sounds that are voiced are b, d, g. Yeah. There, of course, a verb can finish in different sibilant sounds. Oh, sorry, voiced sounds. But the most difficult to identify are b, d, and g. Yeah. And the unvoiced sounds are the ones with a green frame, a green box. Yeah. And when we pronounce them, you don't feel the vocal cord. Yeah. You feel the next sound. For example, stop. You don't listen to the P, it stop. If I do P, I will listen to the sound, but stop. Yeah. The most difficult unvoiced sounds to recognize are P, T, K. P, T, K. So to remember, I usually tell the students what I learned when I was in ensino médio. Fui na bodega comprar uma peteca. So, fui na bodega. B-D-G. Voiced. Bodega é lugar de zoada. Zoada, vibração. Vibração da corda vocal. B-D-G. Voiced. P-T-K. Unvoiced. Unvoiced. Yeah. Fui na bodega, B-D-G, comprar uma peteca, P-T-K. The other sounds which have vibration are easy, like r, vowels, and those that vibrate a lot are not difficult to identify, but these sounds, P-T-K, are the most difficult, and this is what we usually help the students. But if the verb finishes with a vowel sound, vibration. The green sounds, unvoiced. The blue sounds, voiced. But we have to look at the sibilants. The sibilants are the ones that are a hissing sound. So we have s for snake, z for zebra, sh for shower, zh for television, ch for chess, and j for jazz. These are the sibilant sounds. All right. So let's observe. Here. This is the answer key. So we usually tell the students to cover this and only look here. The verb is go. The infinitive go. Oh. It's a vowel sound. So I write es and I pronounce goes. Yeah. Watch. Ch, sibilant. I write es and I pronounce watches. Stop finishes with an unvoiced sound. So I write the S and I pronounce stops. Read, b-d-g, bodega, d. Vibration. I write an S and I pronounce z. Judge, j. Sibilant. I write es and I pronounce is, judges. Put, put, unvoiced. I write an S, I write an S and I pronounce puts. Now here, we're talking about the last sound, not the last letter. This is my noisy neighbor class. We have love, and then we write an S and we pronounce loves. Yeah, I don't say lovey, I say love and then loves. Oh, it's easy to recognize, yes? Catch. Sibilant. I write ES and I pronounce is. Catches. Let's do one more. The verb is like. It's not likey, it's like. Yeah. That cup. Unvoiced. So I write an S and I pronounce likes. So kiss, kisses. Live, lives. Hate, hates. Embrace, embraces. Play, plays. Study, studies. Miss, misses. Forgive, forgives. Delete, deletes. Place, places. Stay, stays. Copy, copies. Kill, kills. Run, runs. Take, takes. Yeah. Buzz, buzzes. Type, peteca, type, types. Choose, sibilant, chooses. So these rules are super nice for us to pronounce the third person correctly. I recommend every time you find a verb in this lesson, think about the third person. What is the rule and what is the pronunciation? This is just a little review, okay, class, from semester 1. That's why I'm just reading the handout, but I have chosen some little videos that can help you review before you arrive in semester 4. Now, after this, there's only one more thing from semester 1, que aí já a gente vai para a parte do semestre 3. Essa aqui é a parte do semestre 1. In semester 1, we studied the expressions and adverbs of frequency. Yeah, always, usually, often, generally, sometimes, rarely, seldom, hardly ever, and never. Yeah, so when we studied the adverbs of frequency, they go from 100% to 0%. Always 100%, never 0%. We studied, in semester 1, we studied that expressions of frequency usually is not always, or usually is here. It's not always. Yes. Yeah, Gabriela.
Teacher,
Yeah.
uma dúvida que eu fiquei, que não tem nada a ver com isso, mas quando eu estava fazendo a prova, pesquisando, se a senhora achar que não deve responder, eu já sei a resposta para a prova, mas eu fiquei com essa dúvida, se existe alguma possibilidade, tipo, em português eu posso falar assim, tipo, a senhora nunca foi a tal lugar, né? Eu posso fazer uma pergunta assim, tipo, usando nunca. Existe alguma possibilidade de você perguntar usando nunca em inglês? Porque eu sei que, tipo, como no português, eu não gosto disso não, né? Usar o não 2 vezes. Eu sei que no inglês não é possível, mas, tipo, eu posso perguntar usando nunca?
O never, na pergunta, a gente, para ficar gramaticalmente correto, não.
Não, né? Pois é, eu não achei isso.
No dia, quer dizer, você pode ver as pessoas talvez na rua, ou dizer, se bem que essa é uma coisa que o no 2 vezes eles usam, certo? I ain't no, I don't have no, sobretudo na cultura negra. O inglês negro, ele faz a repetição das negativas. Eu acho que, se eu não me engano, a gente viu, foi nessa turma que eu mostrei a música da Nina Simone, ou eu falei da música da Nina, eu acho que a gente viu em sala, não foi? Eu não me lembro.
Também não lembro.
Foi, teacher.
Vimos sim.
Pronto, que aí eu coloquei as duas, exatamente, eu thank you very much, que eu mostrei como, sobretudo na cultura negra, no inglês negro, eles usam a negativa 2 vezes, ain't got no, I don't have no, e inclusive as pessoas com menos escolaridade no Reino Unido, brancas também. Eu sempre cito o caso da Adele. A Adele, ela vem de uma família de pouca escolaridade. E o inglês da Adélia é um inglês cheio de vícios de questões de gramática. Ela é uma que faz she don't, inclusive em canções, sabe? E bota então, no popular acontece, mas para ficar gramaticalmente correto, não. Alright? Mikael, eu acho que o teu microfone tá ligado, que tá passando.
Obrigada. É o do Mikael.
Ok, no problem. It happens. Alright. So, então, voltando aqui, a gente tem o never, que foi a Gabriela lembrou por causa do never, né? Have you ever? Alright? E aí, a gente tem as expressões de tempo, expressions of frequency. What are expressions of frequency, teacher? Every day, once a week, twice a week, yeah? In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night. So, expressions of frequency usually go at the end of a sentence. Algumas delas podem vir para frente, como every day, every week, in the morning, in the afternoon. Mas se você não souber onde botar, put them in the end. All right, at the end of the sentence. Adverbs of frequency go before verbs of action and verbs of feeling, and after the verb to be. This is very important. If it is a verb of action, like study, play, eat, or a verb of feeling, love, like, hate, prefer, yes, the adverb of frequency comes before. If it is the verb to be, it comes after. So, I always have classes in the morning. Now, to have class is an action verb. She never comes to my house at the weekend. But when I have the verb to be, we are never late. It is always hungry. Yeah. Sometimes we can use some of these adverbs or expressions in the beginning. Which are the ones that we can usually bring to the beginning? Sometimes, every month, every day. All right, in the morning, in the afternoon. But we cannot place the adverbs or expressions in certain places in the sentence. So it's better for semester 1 students to place these expressions according to the rules. If you don't know if you can put them, follow the rule. Now, when we have the quasi and quasi formulas, the adverb of frequency goes between the subject and the infinitive without to. Do you always go to the cinema? Does she usually come here with her parents? Do they sometimes cook at the weekend? All right. And when we have questions with to be, the adverb of frequency goes after the noun or the pronoun. Are you always late for class? Is she usually so shy? Are the cats sometimes aggressive? Yeah. So this is a little review from semester 1. Yeah. Class number 5 is something you did not study in semester 1, but I put it here to help the students of semester 1 so they can already observe. We never use the formula or the auxiliaries to ask about the subject. We only use quasi and quasi when we know the subject. Yes? When we want to ask a question related to the subject of the action, we write the question word and repeat the rest of the question. It's super easy. Maria loves pizza. If I want to ask, quem ama pizza? I just write the question word, who loves pizza? Maria. Because to use do and does, para usar a fórmula, to use the formula, I need the subject. So the formula is only to ask about the action, the predicate. Where, what kind, what time, when, how much, how many. And I know the subject. But when I want to ask about the subject, I write the question word and I repeat the sentence. Now, the printer doesn't work. What doesn't work? The printer. The new student arrives late for class. Which student arrives late for class? The new student. I don't use auxiliaries when I ask about the subject. So then this is a little activity that I usually assign for semester 1 students. They have to change from the first to the third person, write the negative and the interrogative. Oh, and this is a little conversation that they have on the book, yeah? I put it here for the students. Maybe it can help you remember things from semester 1. Now, in semester 3, end of semester 3, almost semester 4, we're going to review the present simple, but now the focus is not on the routine, like in semester 1. Now the focus is on describing people. And we're going to describe people's appearance and personality. Remember that we can use, oh, sorry, class, I forgot to share. I was already here. So now in semester 3, almost semester 4, we are going to use the present simple, but this time to describe people. And we're going to describe people's appearance and personality. And there's a little review of the final S and ES. All right. So as we have already looked at the pronunciation of S and ES, let's start with this one. We're going to start with the little activity of pronunciation. It's number 3, pronunciation and speaking, the final S, the final third person. Class, this rule also serves for plurals, regular plurals, and for the possessive case. When we put the apostrophe S, it's the same rule of pronunciation. All right? So listen. First time, just listen. Listen to the sentences. These sentences here are going to pronounce the third person, s. This one, z. And the ones which finish with a sibilant sound are going to be pronounced is. Listen.
1.17.
Snake. S.
He likes going to concerts.
He meets interesting people on dates. Zebra. Z.
He pays for their meals.
He wears smart clothes. Is.
He uses reading glasses.
He watches a lot of matches.
Now the book says the final S is pronounced either s or z. The final ES is pronounced is after C, CH, G, S, SH, X, and Z because these letters are the ones that appear as sibilants. All right? So first one, he likes, he meets, people on dates, he pays, meals. Look, here we have a plural. Yeah? Concerts. This is a plural. Same pronunciation. Meals. Noun, plural. Wears, clothes. Yeah? Now a verb with a sibilant sound. Uses, glasses, watches, matches. All right? Let's listen again.
1.17.
Repeat it in your house.
Snake. S.
He likes going to concerts.
He likes going
He
to
meets
concerts.
interesting people on dates.
He meets interesting people on dates.
Zebra. Z.
He pays for their meals.
He pays for their meals.
He wears smart clothes.
He wears smart clothes.
Is.
He uses reading glasses.
He uses reading glasses.
He watches a lot of matches.
He watches a lot of matches. All right? So, there is a little activity. How do you say the he, she, and it form of these verbs? And also the plurals, because they follow the same rule. So let's see the verbs. Choose. Choose finishes with a sibilant. So I'm going to pronounce is. Chooses. Chooses. Cook. Peteca. Cook. I'm going to write an S and pronounce cooks. Go. O. Vowel sound. Vibration. So I write ES and I pronounce goes. Live. Vibration. I write an S and I pronounce Z for zebra. Lives. Stop. Stop. I write an S and I pronounce stops. Teach. Teach. Sibilant. I write ES and I pronounce is. Teaches. Now here, the nouns are book. Peteca. I write an S and I say books. Boy, oi, vowel sound. Diphthong, it's a diphthong. I write an S and I pronounce Z, boys. Class, sibilant. To make the plural, I write ES and I pronounce is. Classes. Friend. Bodega, d. Vibration. I write an S and I pronounce Z. Friends. Language. J. Sibilant. Language. Yeah? So, I write an S, but I pronounce is. Languages. And shop. Oh, peteca. I write an S and I pronounce S, shops. Ó, gente, aqui, ó, ele diz assim, o ES é geralmente pronunciado ES depois de C, CH, G, S, SH, X e Z. Mas aqui a gente tem um GE. Então, memorizar a letra ajuda, mas é melhor memorizar o tipo de som, language, J. Porque o último som aqui que é o sibilante, J. Se você seguir só a regra que ele dá aqui da letra, aqui você já marcaria errado se fosse uma questão de prova. Porque ele não fala nada de terminar com a letra E e a palavra não termina com o G, tá? A gente está falando de sons, não de letras, tá legal? Então é melhor aprender a regrinha do jeito que tá no materialzinho. After sibilant sounds, after unvoiced and voiced. Let's listen. Listen to the he, she, and it form of these verbs.
1.18.
Look.
Chooses.
Chooses.
Cooks.
Cooks.
Goes.
Goes.
Lives.
Lives.
Stops.
Stops.
Teaches.
Teaches.
Books.
Books.
Boys.
Boys.
Classes.
Classes.
Friends.
Friends.
Languages.
Languages.
Shops.
Shops. All right. So, teacher, where can I see the answers to this lesson? They are here, class. They are on the word board. All right. On the word board of file 1B, you have the answers to all the activities. All right. Verbs and nouns, they are here on the word board. All right. So if you have not written it, don't worry. You have the answers there. All right. So the part of pronunciation is quite easy for us. Yeah. And the part of grammar is not difficult because we know how to change a first person into a third person. What is new in this lesson is the part of describing people's personality and appearance. Yeah. So let's try to change from the first person to the third person. Let's remember, I need a new partner. He needs a new partner. I write an S, add an S. I don't want my dad to end up alone. She doesn't. It's the auxiliary of the third person. She doesn't want her dad to end up alone. What kind of person do you want to meet? What kind of person does he want to meet? Yeah, so here we have a quasi question. What kind of person? Question word, auxiliary, subject, infinitive. Same thing here. Yeah. And then it asks us to tick the correct sentences. They often go out together. They go out often together. If I have an action verb, the adverb of frequency comes before. A gente acabou de revisar, yeah? And if I have the verb to be, the adverb of frequency comes after the verb to be. All right? So, quem tem alguma dúvida, assim, das coisas básicas do semestre 1 do Present Simple, dá uma olhadinha no TD. Deixa eu voltar lá no Class Materials para vocês, quem chegou depois, saber qual é. It's this one here, the Present Simple. You have the basic stuff about Present Simple. A gente leu esse TD todinho, nesse instante. Just to remember from semester 1. And if you want, you can do the activities. All right?
A senhora está apresentando porque a gente está aparecendo só no instrução.
Oh, sorry. Here now. Yeah. This is the one. Thank you. Yeah. This is the one from semester 1. Let me bring it here. Oh, the present simple. All right? No comecinho da aula, a gente começou com ele. A gente deu uma lida nele todo. So this material here is from semester 1. It helps you remember all the basic things about the present simple. Adverbs of frequency, formula, interrogative, negative, pronunciation. So it is here for you. Yes. Now, in semester 3, we need to learn new things with the simple present. Yes. And we're going to talk about describing people. All right. So we're going to listen to 3 women describing their fathers. Yeah. Which one is Charlotte, the woman with her father in the 2 photos? So the woman is going to describe a man. Yeah. Which description is Charlotte's father? So this is Charlotte and this is her father. And she's going to describe, one of the descriptions is going to be of Charlotte's father. Listen, see if you get the correct description. So listen to 3 women describing their fathers. Which description is Charlotte, the woman with her father in the 2 photos? Is it number 1, number 2, or number 3?
1.11. 1.
My dad's very tall and thin, with a big nose. He looks a bit like a tall, thin bird. He has blonde hair and blue eyes, which is typical of Sweden. His grandmother was from Sweden. He looks a bit serious, but he isn't really. He's very funny. He has a great sense of humour.
2.
I think my dad's quite good looking. He's not very tall, a bit taller than me, and he still has his hair, but less than before. It was dark, but it's grey now. He's not thin, but he isn't overweight. He's careful about what he eats. And he's got a lovely smile.
3.
My dad's short and thin, and he wears glasses. He isn't exactly good looking, but he's not unattractive either. He's very friendly and very talkative. In fact, he never stops talking.
Now, class, observe that the listenings are getting longer. In the blue book, you are going to see that the listenings are much longer. Yeah, so more listenings, longer listenings, more vocabulary, more intonation, more time to study in your house. You're going to need a little bit more time so you can listen to the audios, listen and read. All right? Let's listen again. Now we're going to listen and read it so we can see if it is person number 1, number 2, or number 3. Describing this guy here. All right?
1.11. 1.
My dad's very tall and thin, with a big nose. He looks a bit like a tall, thin bird. He has blonde hair and blue eyes, which is typical of Sweden. His grandmother was from Sweden. He looks a bit serious, but he isn't really. He's very funny. He has a great sense of humour.
2.
I think my dad's quite good looking. He's not very tall, a bit taller than me, and he still has his hair, but less than before. It was dark, but it's grey now. He's not thin, but he isn't overweight. He's careful about what he eats. And he's got a lovely smile.
3.
My dad's short and thin, and he wears glasses. He isn't exactly good looking, but he's not unattractive either. He's very friendly and very talkative. In fact, he never stops talking.
So, observing the description, which is the description of the father, person 1, 2, or 3?
2.
Yeah. All right. We're going to look at the descriptions and see. Look, I think my dad's quite good looking. Yeah. He's not very tall, a bit smaller, a bit taller than me, and he still has his hair, but less than before. It was dark, but it's gray now. He's not thin, but he isn't overweight. He isn't overweight. He's careful about what he eats, and he has a lovely smile. You see, he's got, class, this is the British way of saying have. British people say have got. Yes. Tem apêndice lá no final do livro sobre o uso do have got. Yeah. Ele vai começar a introduzir o have got e lá para frente do livro ele vai levar todo mundo lá no final do livro para a gente estudar o have got. É a última página do livro que tem coisas impressas. All right? I have got, you have got, he has got, she has got, it has got, we have got, they have got. He's got a lovely smile. So here we're describing, she's describing his appearance and his personality. We're going to listen to Charlotte, only to Charlotte. And we want to see what adjectives does she use to describe her father's height. Height is the noun for the adjective tall. Height, altura. What does she say about his hair? His weight. Weight is the noun, and the adjective is heavy. How many kilos does he have? And how does she describe his smile? Let's observe.
1.12.
I think my dad's quite good looking. He's not very tall, a bit taller than me, and he still has his hair, but less than before. It was dark, but it's grey now. He's not thin, but he isn't overweight. He's careful about what he eats. And he's got a lovely smile.
Listen again.
1.12.
I think my dad's quite good looking. He's not very tall, a bit taller than me, and he still has his hair, but less than before. It was dark, but it's grey now. He's not thin, but he isn't overweight. He's careful about what he eats. and he's got a lovely smile.
So if we observe, talking about his appearance, he's quite good looking. Yeah, quite good looking. Nice. He's not very tall. Yeah, a bit taller than me. Not very tall. A bit taller than me. And he still has his hair, but less than before. Observe that she doesn't say he's short, he doesn't have hair, he's not very handsome. She describes her father in a positive way. All right? Yeah. But it's gray now. He's not thin. She doesn't say he's fat. Yeah. Well, he isn't overweight. He's careful about what he eats. Yeah. And he's got a lovely smile. He has a lovely smile. So here she is describing her father in two aspects. First, appearance, and then personality. All right. And when we describe people, we have to learn some questions that are very, 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 very important. The questions are, what does he or she look like? Look like appearance. What is he or she like? Personality. So these two questions are the new questions. They are the new topics in semester 3. In semester 1, we learned this question. What does he or she like? She likes books, she likes cats, she likes good food. Yeah. In semester 2, we studied what does he or she like doing? British English. What does he or she like to do? American English. So semester 1, we learned this question. What does he or she like? She likes movies, she likes sports, she likes books. And then actions. What does he or she like doing or like to do? Simple present. But in British English, verbs of feeling takes the next verb with ing. This is not present continuous, this is simple present. But with verbs of emotion, of feeling, the next verb comes with ing. And American people use the infinitive. So semester 1, semester 2. Now semester 3, almost semester 4. What does he or she look like? What is he or she like? Yeah. When I have the verb to be, I don't use an auxiliary. Remember, class, the verb to be makes the question. But the verb to look like needs help. And look, question word, auxiliary, subject, infinitive. Inside the formula, Q-U-A-S-I. Yeah. So let's look at the verbs we're using. We have the verb to look like. The verb to look like, appearance. What does he look like? What does she look like? If I ask about look like, think about appearance. Pense no look do dia, que o pessoal, o look do dia, appearance. Ninguém fala no look do dia e fala de personalidade. Quando você fala no look, qual é o meu look? Que não é look, é look. When you talk about look, it's appearance, hair, clothes, all right? To be like, personality. Now, when we say the verb to like, yeah, he likes, he dislikes. When you like and dislike, the next thing we talk about is nouns. I like books. I like good food. I like cats. I like good music. I like technology. When I use like to do or like doing, I'm going to use a verb. Yes, I like reading. I like watching TV. I like sewing. I like to sew, to watch TV, to read. So semester 1, semester 2, and now semester 3. All right? So these questions are very important. Quem já fez a prova viu que caiu essas questões lá. What does he or she look like? What is he or she like? What does he or she like? What does he or she like doing? Or what does he or she like to do? Yes. Do you have any difficulties or any questions about these structures? Because I know this is a little bit confusing, yes? If you have any questions, any difficulties, it's the moment to ask questions. Fine? Aqui mesmo a gente tem que decorar a frase e a estrutura dela. What does he or she look like? Appearance. What is he or she like? Personality. What does he or she like? Substantivo, coisas. What does he or she like doing or like to do? Actions. All right? So, let's look. Yes, Lívia?
Professora, nesse caso, eu não poderia perguntar com o verbo to be? Tipo, how is he? How is he? Tipo, como ele é? How is he?
No popular pode. How is he? Yes. O americano gosta do how. E o britânico gosta do what is he like? Lembra quando a gente estudou the weather? What was the weather like? E no semestre 2, what is the weather like? It's foggy, it's sunny. O britânico sempre gosta desse what, plan, 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 like. O americano gosta muito do how. Yes? How is he like? Yeah. How is he? American people do it. Yes, how is he like? Mas para personalidade. Se for para aparência, tanto o britânico como o americano vão perguntar what does he look like? Ou então, what's his appearance? Yes? Então, para personalidade, o americano gosta muito do how, tá? E o britânico, what, plan, 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 like. What does he look like? What is he like? What was the weather like? All right? Yes, very good question. Beleza?
Ok.
Yeah. Agora, how does he look like? O how com look like é que não what. Yes. Teacher, e nunca eles vão usar o to be e descrever a aparência, ou descrever a aparência? Acontece. Gente, na vida real acontece tudo. Certo? É só a gente lembrar da gente conversando em português mesmo. A gente às vezes pergunta uma coisa, mas o outro entende outra, ou o outro responde o que é mais importante. Tem que lembrar sempre que a gente está estudando a estrutura. E quando tiver exercício ou provas, vocês lembrarem. Look like, appearance. Yes? Be like, personality. Yeah? So, a good place for you to come and look at this one here up. Look like, appearance. Be like, personality. To like or dislike, nouns. Like books, like coffee, like chocolate. Yeah. Like doing, you have an action. Like to study, like studying. Like to ride a bike, like riding a bike. Yeah. So this is the thing you have to remember, what each verb represents. All right? Now here on our book, the book brings a lot of vocabulary, class, a lot. It's on page 150, yes? And here we have the two questions. We have the two questions describing people, appearance, and personality. When I want to know about somebody's appearance, the question is this one, to look like. What does he or she look like? Appearance. When I want to know about somebody's personality, what is he or she like? Yeah, the verb to be like. And we have a lot of vocabulary to study here. Yeah. So let's look at the people and do the activity. Now, okay. We're going to listen to the numbers, and you can write the numbers and look at what they're saying.
1.13.
Look.
Describing people. 1. Appearance. What does he look like? What does she look like? 2.
She has curly red hair.
3.
She has long, straight hair.
1.
She has big blue eyes.
6.
She has short, blonde hair.
5.
He has a beard and a moustache.
4.
He's bald.
7.
He's very tall and thin.
9.
He's medium height and very slim.
8.
He's quite short and a bit overweight.
Listen again.
1.13. Describing people. 1. Appearance. What does he look like? What does she look like? 2.
She has curly red hair.
3.
She has long, straight hair.
1.
She has big blue eyes.
6.
She has short, blonde hair.
5.
He has a beard and a moustache.
4.
He's bald.
7.
He's very tall and thin.
9.
He's medium height and very slim.
8.
He's quite short and a bit overweight.
Now, for words that are difficult and new, the book brings the transcripts. Now, he has curly. Agora, isso aqui tá errado, viu? Esse curly. Porque esse símbolo que tá aqui é o de television. Corrijam, pelo amor de Deus, era o bird. Quem digitou isso errado. Yeah? Então, deixa eu tentar escrever aqui. Ó. Curly. E a sílaba forte é essa, curly. Só que na hora de colocar, ao invés de colocar o for bird, botaram o television, que nem tem esses dois pontinhos. O símbolo de television não tem os dois pontinhos. Isso aqui foi a pessoa que estava digitando, estava no Zap Zap na hora. Né? Falar nisso, vocês viram o babado que aconteceu com a prova do semestre 1 da Casa de Cultura?
Fiquei sabendo nesse instante, professora, fiquei passada.
Gente, quando eu li... Gente, olha só. O gasto de papel, de fiscalização e o emocional das pessoas que foram fazer prova, sabe? Porque alguém simplesmente trocou as coisas. Ou na hora de imprimir, porque esse negócio de você mexer com o computador, eu sei porque, olha, eu trabalho melhor no papel, sempre. Então, e a tecnologia, assim, basta você desconcentrar um minutinho. Olha, eu quero ver, porque na nota da reitoria diz que foi um erro humano. Deixou bem claro que foi um erro humano. Coitada da criatura que foi responsável por isso. Domingo vai ter prova de novo, né? Ai, fiquei arrasada quando eu vi. Enfim.
Professora, vai ter prova para todos os idiomas, sabe dizer?
Sim, foi do semestre 1. A prova do semestre 1 que teve o problema.
Então próximo domingo vai ter prova de novo, porque um colega meu ia fazer para cultura alemã e acabou perdendo a prova.
Aí eu não sei se quem perdeu essa vai ter direito, capaz que sim, né? Porque anulou. De qualquer maneira, todos os candidatos estarão recebendo comunicação e pediram para acompanhar. Eu vou mandar a nota para vocês no grupo. Eu fiquei sabendo agora à tarde.
Sim.
Cruel. Alright? Então, coisas como essas. So, let's go, everybody. Let's have a look. So, this is curly. Corrijam aí, tá? Para vocês estudarem bem direitinho. Now, we have curly, straight, eyes, beard, mustache, bald. American people say bald. Height, overweight. Yeah. Now, class, these little details here that you have are important to observe. Look, using two adjectives. Remember, adjectives never form the plural. Yes, class, we don't put adjectives in the plural. All right. Adjectives go in this order: size, style, and color. And then the noun. Oh, she has long, straight, blonde hair. He has big brown eyes. Size, style, and color. And then the noun. All right. Thin or slim, fat or overweight. Thin and slim are both the opposite of fat, but slim is thin in an attractive way. So this guy here, we could say is slim, and this is thin. So slim means attractive. When you say thin or skinny, not very attractive. Para os padrões da beleza internacional, porque você pode gostar de mulheres bem sequinhas ou pode gostar de mulheres bem cheinhas. Isso aqui é o padrão da mídia cruel, yeah? Fat is not very polite, not good manners. It is more polite to say someone is overweight or a bit overweight. All right? Now, handsome or beautiful? Handsome is used for men. Beautiful is used for women. And good looking and attractive are used for both men and women. Teacher, mas eu já vi chamando um homem de beautiful também. Tem coisas que estão começando a ficar na moda. Mas geralmente, quando você fala, oh, he's a beautiful man, a pessoa também está incluindo a questão da alma. Ele é um homem lindo, no sentido assim, corpo e alma. But when it's for physical things, usually handsome, good looking. All right. There are many adjectives, class. These are just some adjectives. Yeah. Hi, teacher, I want a lot of extra description. If you like descriptions, a good thing for you to do, I'm going to try to, just a second, class. I'm on Google now, all right? So type, for example, people, appearance, dot, like stop mark, vocabulary. And then you will have the result. You will find results in videos, you will find PDFs, but what I usually look, what I really like are the images. So if you want to learn vocabulary, look, when you click, you have different kinds of hair, different kinds of eyes, mustache, all sorts of descriptions, yeah? And you also have videos, and so you can find different places and things and word search to help you with descriptions, all right? List of describing words, describing a person. So if you are, now for example, describing words, appearance adjectives, English adjectives for physical appearance. So you just have to click, like describing a person, face, build, nose, hair, eyes, height, age, mouth. It depends on how much time you have. Now let's see, people, personality. Let's ask for personality. Whatever you want to learn, you can just come to Google and Google can help you. People, personality, adjectives to describe character, appearance, common character flaws, and then characteristics, yeah? Characteristics. Adjectives to describe a person. So, and you also have, if you go to all, todas, you will find lists, character traits, personality adjectives, adjectives describing people. If you go for videos, you will find lots of different kinds of videos and so on. So now if I want to, for example, types of hairstyle, vocabulary. So you will have word sheets with, you know, different ways to have your hair, different kinds of hair makes, and a lot of stuff. Yeah. So let's see if we can see one. Just a second, class. Now, crew cut, shaved head, bald head, receding hairline, long hair, flat top, spiky, dreadlocks, cornrows, bob, shoulder length, chignon or chignon, bun, French twist, long wavy hair, curly hair, perm, que é o permanente, né? Braid, oh my God, French braid, braids or bangs. Oh, bangs é a pastinha. Pigtails. Sometimes they say ponytails in the plural and ponytail, but these are Polianas. No, ponytail is like this, rabo de cavalo. And pigtails são as Polianas. So you can find all sorts of stuff if you come to Google. Google is always good help when you want to learn vocabulary, all right? No, let me go back. And I have to share it again. Just a second. Because when I leave a page, I have to do it again. Now let's go check people's personality, class. Look, what is he or she like? I have the word clever, friendly, funny, generous, not generous, generous, kind, lazy, shy, talkative. And the opposites, extrovert, well, extrovert, not extro, no, extrovert, hardworking, mean, quiet, not quiet, quiet, serious, stupid, unfriendly, and unkind. Yeah? So we're going to listen to the adjective and the opposites. Yep, let's go.
1.14 Personality 1.
Friendly.
He doesn't read it, sorry. So a person who is open and warm is friendly. The opposite,
Unfriendly.
a person who talks a lot
2.
is,
Talkative. Quiet.
the opposite is quiet.
3.
A person who likes giving people things is,
Generous.
the opposite,
Mean.
mean.
4.
Kind.
A person who is friendly and good to other people is kind.
Kind.
The opposite, unkind.
Unkind.
A person who doesn't want to work is
5. Lazy.
the opposite of lazy.
Hard-working.
Okay. A person who makes people laugh or laugh is
6.
Funny.
the opposite.
Serious.
A person who is quick at learning and understanding things is
7.
Clever.
like intelligent, yeah. And
Stupid.
the opposite, stupid.
8.
Shy.
Oh, a person who can't talk easily to people he or she doesn't know is shy. And the opposite of shy is extrovert.
Extrovert.
Extrovert. Now, class, there are other possibilities. Yeah. A person who is open and warm is friendly. E nice dá para monte de coisa. Yeah. Nice. Friendly. The opposite of friendly, unfriendly. Cold, distant. Yeah. A person who talks a lot is talkative. The opposite of talkative, quiet, silent. A person who likes giving people things is generous. The opposite is mean. Mean é avarento. Ao mesmo tempo, mean pode ser cruel. Tá? É muito comum a gente ver isso. Don't be mean to me. Don't be cruel. All right? A person who is friendly and good to other people is kind, is nice. The opposite of kind can be unkind, rude, R-U-D-E, rude. A person who doesn't want to work is lazy. The opposite of lazy, hardworking. A person who makes people laugh is funny. The opposite of funny is serious. A person who is quick at learning and understanding things is clever, intelligent. The opposite of clever is stupid. Yeah? Stupid can be somebody who cannot learn, mas também é um xingamento, né? Quando eu quero dizer cara estúpido, cara brabo, cara. All right? A person who can't talk easily to people he or she doesn't know is shy. And the opposite of shy? Extrovert. Now, it's very important, class, for us to make the difference between fun and funny. All right? A funny is somebody that makes you laugh. Funny. Fun is divertido. Nem tudo que é funny é fun. E nem tudo que é fun é funny. All right? Coisas que parecem engraçadas para algumas pessoas, mas não para outras. Funny. Yeah. Fun é divertido. Há coisas que são divertidas, mas você não precisa estar rindo. All right? So, remember, funny related to laughing and fun related to feeling good. And the book also tells us to look and observe the two very important questions. What does she look like? What is she like? What does he or she look like? Tell me about her appearance. Is she tall, short? What color hair does she have? What is she like? Tell me what kind of person she is. Is she friendly? Is she shy? All right. So, what does he or she look like? Appearance. What is she like? Personality. Okay. So, in our lesson, we have a text in which Charlotte, she wants to find a date for her father. Please date my dad. Yes. So in this text, you have a description, you have physical description and descriptions related to appearance. I want you to do it, read it, look at the words, and then you try to answer the questions. Why does Charlotte want to find Clint a partner? How do we know that Charlotte and Clint are close? What was dating like when Clint was young? Describe it. How does Clint find dates now? And how has Charlotte helped him? And then in the text, the book shows the difference between funny and fun, because this is very important. Look, a person who makes you laugh or laugh is funny. A person who you can have a good time is fun. All right. So I want you to try to do it. Try to read it. Read it and look for the answers. You have the answers on the word board. Yes. So this text is a daughter trying to find a date for her father. In the last 10 minutes we are going to do the listening. We have a listening here, which is quite nice. Yeah. Look. Listen. Listen to Elspeth Gordon. Elspeth Gordon, a journalist, talking about a dating experiment. So she's going to take part in a dating experiment. Yes. Answer the questions. What kind of app does Elspeth use? What do you do if you like someone? What is Elspeth's mother going to do? What is Elspeth going to do? And there is a word that you're going to listen to. It's swipe. Swipe is to move your finger across a touch screen on a phone or a tablet to activate a function. This is to swipe. Just a second. When you have your cell phone, you do this to swipe. Yeah? To activate functions. You can swipe up or down. All right? So you're going to listen. This part is super easy. Let's listen to answer the 4 questions. What kind of app does she use? What do you do if you like someone? What is Elspeth's mother going to do? And what is Elspeth going to do, her mother and herself, in this dating experiment?
1.19.
My name's Elspeth. I'm 25. I'm a journalist. I live in Dublin and I'm single. It's not easy to meet people here. So who can help me? My mother and a dating app. My favourite dating app, called Tinder, shows you photos of possible partners with a bit of information about them. You look at the photos and swipe, swipe, swipe. Swipe right if you like them, and swipe left, well, swipe left if you don't. If a guy likes you, and you like him, you have a match. Then you can start messaging the person, and from this, romance follows. Or so they say. I've tried it, but with no success. So I decide to give my mother my phone. She can swipe all the men she likes, and then look at my matches and choose the people that she likes the best. I've promised to go on a date with the men she chooses.
Listen again. See what you can understand.
1.19.
My name's Elspeth. I'm 25. I'm a journalist. I live in Dublin and I'm single. It's not easy to meet people here. So who can help me? My mother and a dating app. My favourite dating app, called Tinder, shows you photos of possible partners with a bit of information about them. You look at the photos and swipe, swipe, swipe. Swipe right if you like them, and swipe left, well, swipe left if you don't. If a guy likes you, and you like him, you have a match. Then you can start messaging the person, and from this, romance follows. Or so they say. I've tried it, but with no success. So I decide to give my mother my phone. She can swipe all the men she likes, and then look at my matches and choose the people that she likes the best. I've promised to go on a date with the men she chooses.
All right. So, before I forget, class, Carolina, Tayana, Carolina. Ana, tu mandaste o teu vídeo? Lembra que o teu vídeo. Tá certo? Manda para chegar direitinho, porque ainda bem que eu me lembrei que eu já estou organizando tudo, tá bom? Alright. Porque, gente, a Carolina mandou o e-mail, a prova dela oral, do mid-semestre, mas mandou para um e-mail que não era o meu. Aí eu estou esperando ainda. Alright. So, let's go. Good. So, now, let's listen and read so we can correct it. Observe, class, that the listenings are getting bigger. The listenings are getting bigger. Yeah? So, when you finish the class, it's a great idea to listen and read, get the vocabulary. Look.
1.19.
My name's Elspeth. I'm 25. I'm a journalist. I live in Dublin, and I'm single. It's not easy to meet people here. So who can help me? My mother and a dating app. My favourite dating app, called Tinder, shows you photos of possible partners with a bit of information about them. You look at the photos and swipe, swipe, swipe. Swipe right if you like them, and swipe left, well, swipe left if you don't. If a guy likes you, and you like him, you have a match. Then you can start messaging the person, and from this, romance follows. Or so they say. I've tried it, but with no success. So I decide to give my mother my phone. She can swipe all the men she likes, and then look at my matches and choose the people that she likes the best. I've promised to go on a date with the men she chooses.
So this is the experiment, all right? What kind of experiment is it? Yeah? Oh, sorry. Let me get the questions because I have... What kind of app does she use? She uses Tinder, yeah, class? A propósito, by the way, sabia que existe uma versão de Tinder só para vegetarianos, veganos, lacto-ovos. Você entra, a gente sabe porque a gente tem uma colega, nós fomos padrinhos do primeiro casamento dela, e ela conheceu o atual namorado no Tinder vegetariano. Aí você bota qual é o seu tipo, se você é vegano, vegetariano, lacto-ovo, e aí já começa com essa facilidade, porque uma das dificuldades entre vegetarianos e onívoros é exatamente a alimentação, né? Então, se você já começa sabendo, já fica mais fácil. So, yes. Okay. Now, what do you do if you like someone? You swipe. You swipe right. Swipe right. If you don't like the person, swipe left. What is her mother going to do? She's going to choose the man she likes for her daughter. Yeah. And Elspeth is going to go on a date with the man her mother chooses. All right. So this is the experiment. And we're going to see how it comes out. All right. So we're going to listen to Elspeth describe her first 2 days. Let's try to do it. Yeah. What does she think of her mom's choice? Yeah. We're going to listen and we're going to write J for John or S for Sebastian. Which man do you think Elspeth prefers? J for John, S for Sebastian. He's tall, dark, and handsome. He's very tall. He's a teacher. He's from Germany, but he lives in Dublin. There isn't a spark like a magic. No spark. Não deu clique no chão. He's a real gentleman. Yes. So the first 2 dates we're going to do as a listening, and then the third we can read it because our class is almost finishing, but let's go.
1.20. Date 1.
My first date is with a nice guy called John. I sit at a table in a bar and wait for him to arrive. An old man walks towards the table, and for 2 awful seconds, I think it's all a terrible mistake. But he walks past, and then my date arrives. He's very tall, 1 meter 90. Well done, Mum. I'm tall myself, so I always look for tall men, as my mum knows well. We start chatting, and it's all very easy. Mum has good taste. He's a teacher. We get on well, and it's a fun date, but sadly, there isn't a spark. So, I try again.
Date 2.
I arrive a bit early again, and I sit there waiting for Sebastian to arrive. Suddenly, I realise that I can't remember anything at all about him, not even where he's from. Then he comes through the door, tall, dark, and handsome. Mum, you're amazing, I say to myself. He's from Germany, but he lives in Dublin. He's a real gentleman. At the end of the evening, he asks for a second date. Mum is very pleased. I agree to the date, but I don't really think it's going to work.
Second time. Come on.
1.20. Date 1.
My first date is with a nice guy called John. I sit at a table in a bar and wait for him to arrive. An old man walks towards the table, and for 2 awful seconds, I think it's all a terrible mistake. But he walks past, and then my date arrives. He's very tall, 1 meter 90. Well done, Mum. I'm tall myself, so I always look for tall men, as my mum knows well. We start chatting, and it's all very easy. Mum has good taste. He's a teacher. We get on well, and it's a fun date, but sadly, there isn't a spark. So, I try again.
Date 2.
I arrive a bit early again, and I sit there waiting for Sebastian to arrive. Suddenly, I realise that I can't remember anything at all about him, not even where he's from. Then he comes through the door, tall, dark, and handsome. Mum, you're amazing, I say to myself. He's from Germany, but he lives in Dublin. He's a real gentleman. At the end of the evening, he asks for a second date. Mum is very pleased. I agree to the date, but I don't really think it's going to work.
Okay, so let's check answers. Sebastian is tall, dark, and handsome. John is very tall. John is a teacher. Sebastian is from Germany but lives in Dublin. There isn't a spark with John. And Sebastian is a real gentleman. Yes. Gente, quando eles falam tall, dark, dark é porque tem o cabelo escuro, não necessariamente que ele é preto ou negro, tá? Se fosse negro, diria he's black. Mas quando diz tall, dark, é porque a pessoa não é loira. All right? Let's listen and read so we can go to the last one. Look.
1.20. Date 1.
My first date is with a nice guy called John. I sit at a table in a bar and wait for him to arrive. An old man walks towards the table, and for 2 awful seconds, I think it's all a terrible mistake. But he walks past, and then my date arrives. He's very tall, 1 meter 90. Well done, Mum. I'm tall myself, so I always look for tall men, as my mum knows well. We start chatting, and it's all very easy. Mum has good taste. He's a teacher. We get on well, and it's a fun date, but sadly, there isn't a spark. So, I try again.
Date 2.
I arrive a bit early again, and I sit there waiting for Sebastian to arrive. Suddenly, I realise that I can't remember anything at all about him, not even where he's from. Then he comes through the door. Tall, dark, and handsome. Mum, you're amazing, I say to myself. He's from Germany, but he lives in Dublin. He's a real gentleman. At the end of the evening, he asks for a second date. Mum is very pleased. I agree to the date, but I don't really think it's going to work.
Class, a gente vocês vão perceber que no semestre 4, tá, o nível linguístico dos listenings e dos textos dá um salto quanti-qualitativo, certo? Nos dois aspectos. Os textos que vocês vão ver agora são bem maiores e o vocabulário já está mais assim refinado, certo? Então, a mesma coisa acontece com os listenings. Qual é uma sugestão que eu dou para nessas férias?
1.20.
Não, vocês aproveitarem. Peguem esses primeiros listenings do livro azul, peguem o workbook também para fazer, tá? E aí vocês escutam lendo. Depois vão olhar coisas que vão acrescentar para a vida de vocês. Olha só. My first date is with a nice guy called John. I sit at a table. I don't sit on the table. On the table é em cima da mesa. Então, I sit at a table in a bar. At a table, in a bar, in a cafe. I wait for. Yeah. Aqui tem um monte de preposition. At, in, for, and to. Towards, another preposition. Blah, 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 blah. He walks past. My date arrives. He's very tall, 1.90. So ask yourself, can you read these numbers? Can you understand them? Yes, I'm tall myself. Oh, eu mesmo sou bem alta. I'm tall myself. Yes, learn them. Try to put them in, an imaginary sentence. Quanto mais você visualizar e ouvir, mais a possibilidade do seu cérebro reter e utilizar. Alright? Se você só ouvir uma expressão assim, mas não aprofundar nela, o seu vocabulário sempre vai ser um vocabulário limitado. Então, pode observar que aqui é simple present, mas com um recheio de coisas novas, de expressões, de vocabulário, para ir somando ao que você já tem, que é a estrutura do simple present e as coisas mais simples. Então, escuta e lê, depois só escuta. Lê. E lembra daquele material do livro antigo, do English File antigo que eu falei para vocês que tem muito texto e áudio? Tem todo o material do livro vermelho antigo, que muitos é o mesmo tema que a gente está estudando, mas são textos diferentes, para você ouvir e ler, para você ir dando para o seu cérebro mais parâmetros, tá legal? So you can learn the vocabulary, intonation. E, gente, esses textinhos, o bom deles é que eles são montados com o que a gente está estudando, com a estrutura que o cérebro está compreendendo. Então, ele é quase como uma lavagem cerebral para poder ir fixando na mente da gente. We're going to listen, só para a gente finalizar, we're going to listen to the third date, but we're going to listen and read. We have the third date and the result. Which boy, which man does she prefer?
1.21. Date 3.
Date number 3 is George. He suggests a bar on South William Street. I arrive early. I'm definitely the most punctual person in the world. I stand outside, very confused. The bar is closed. For a moment, I think Mom has finally got it wrong. But a few minutes later, he arrives. He just didn't know the bar was closed. We go somewhere else and start chatting. He tells me he works in IT and is from just outside Dublin. This guy is great fun. He's very relaxed and interesting. He's travelled a lot. He tells a lot of funny stories. It's all going well, and I'm getting very enthusiastic when my phone pings.
Uh-oh. Yes. So, listen and read again.
1.21. Date 3.
Date number 3 is George. He suggests a bar on South William Street. I arrive early. I'm definitely the most punctual person in the world. I stand outside, very confused. The bar is closed. For a moment, I think Mom has finally got it wrong. But a few minutes later, he arrives. He just didn't know the bar was closed. We go somewhere else and start chatting. He tells me he works in IT and is from just outside Dublin. This guy is great fun. He's very relaxed and interesting. He's travelled a lot. He tells a lot of funny stories. It's all going well, and I'm getting very enthusiastic when my phone pings.
All right. So, let's see what is on her phone, yeah?
1.22.
It's all going well, and I'm getting very enthusiastic when my phone pings. It's on the table between us, and it's a text from my mother. Well, is he lovely? Love, Mum. George looks at my screen and reads the text. I want to die.
So, it was her mother, yeah, class? Her mother. Oh, about the message. Were you... A gente não fez essa parte de predição, yes? Não, ela nem diz quem é que... She doesn't say who she's going to have a second date with, yeah? We just hear, we listen to her talking about the 3 boys, but we don't know. What is your opinion? Maybe, do you have any predictions? Who do you think she likes the best? The first, the second, the third? In the old book class, it was nice because she went out with 2 guys. One was perfect, but then when they leave the restaurant to get a taxi, he gets a cigarette to smoke. She was already, feeling attracted, but when she saw that the guy smokes, she said, no, I cannot stay with a man that smokes. Yeah. So the listening just to help you understand the situation. Olha, gente, só uma coisa. A gente fala muito no Tinder, mas em muitos lugares o Tinder não é visto como uma coisa pejorativa, não, viu? Aqui, quando a pessoa fala que tem uma conta no Tinder, eu falo que conhece alguém no Tinder, às vezes as pessoas ficam com vergonha. Mas no estrangeiro, o Tinder não tem esse conceito tão negativo, não. It's already on a book. All right? Yes. So, I know that we have seen this in a very, very fast way, but in your house, yeah? So you can review the simple present, read the text, have a look at the questions. And I have put some materials to help you, class. Quem não lembra muito bem do simple present, ó, aqui são os áudios, the audios for the first lesson, 1B. Yeah, I have put some videos about do, doesn't, pronunciation of S, how to pronounce words that are voiced, unvoiced, and sibilant. Ele vai bem devagarzinho mostrando voiced, unvoiced, sibilant, and British English. Verbs with ing, the difference between I like to do, like doing, yeah, from semester 2. Eu puxei puxei todos dessa mesma coleção porque ele faz uma sequência. E aqui ele tem um que é só activities, para você colocar do and the practice exercises, to practice with do and does, all right? And you have the handout about the present simple. On the word board, you have the activity, correct the mistakes on the composition below. You have a description of the teacher, all right? And you have a lot of mistakes. You have to correct the mistakes. On the next page, you have the mistakes and the corrections. Às vezes a gente não consegue ver que aquilo que a gente estava escrevendo era errado. E ao fazer uma tarefa assim, a gente dá um boost, porque a gente vê, olha, eu dizia isso, não vou mais dizer não, porque está errado. O que eu risquei aqui desse lado, consertei desse lado de azul. My English teacher is Mrs. Jocely. No. My English capital letter is Mrs. Jocely Pinheiro or Mrs. Pinheiro. I don't say Mrs. with the first name. I like of her. No, I like her very much because she's a extrovert. No, because she's extrovert. I don't use a or an with an adjective. Só se tivesse substantivo depois. All right? And so try to do it. This is extra to review semester 1 and 2. All right? Here it is wrong. Here it is right. Yes? And then you have the answers to the lesson. All right? Especially the answers for the reading that are here. Yeah? Now, aqui eu coloquei as respostas da parte relacionada às roupas do File 1C, que a gente vai dar uma pincelada rápida na próxima aula, nessa aqui. Vocês têm que entregar a prova de vocês, tá bem pertinho, né, gente? Só rapidez aqui. Faz tempo que eu digo rapidez e estou enrolando vocês, para ganhar mais tempo. Então, para o dia 14, vocês têm que me entregar o listening e o use of English, tá? As outras tarefinhas, tem algumas que ainda estão abertas. Quem não fez e está entregando, está perdendo só uns pontinhos assim, de entrega atrasada, mas é melhor perder um pouquinho do que não ganhar nada, tá? Então, quem não fez ainda, entrega. Daqui a pouco eu já vou começar a dar baixa no que chegou, tá? Lembrando dos conselhos que eu dei sobre as provas, o André gravou. Muito obrigada, André. Por isso, quem faltou pode dar uma olhada que a gente viu um pouquinho das provas, tá? E só tem uma coisa para dizer antes de fechar. O sistema está caindo muito. Os meninos do semestre 2, várias pessoas enviaram tarefas e chega no Google Form, mas mesmo a pessoa marcando concluída, não está chegando no Google Classroom. Isso tem acontecido porque, fim de semestre, gente, o provedor da universidade, né, está lotado, todo mundo lançando nota, a gente entregando trabalho, a gente no cigarro, mas tem que lembrar que a gente está usando pertences da universidade. O e-mail meu que recebe e no qual eu entro para ver do Google Classroom está logado na plataforma da universidade. Então, a única coisa que eu queria dizer é para não deixar para enviar a prova no último momento, ou no último dia, tá? E não passem direto para o formulário, passem para o papel, porque se você, na hora de enviar, você perder o documento ou houver algum tipo de falha, você tem as respostas, tá bom? Então, por favor, por tudo quanto é mais sagrado, não deixem para a última hora, porque a gente tem até segunda-feira para digitar todas as notas, e eu ainda quero mostrar as notas de vocês, eu queria mostrar quinta-feira já, na nossa última aula. Então, para poder todo mundo já sair quinta-feira feliz da vida, com suas notas e tudo mais. Alright? Então, quem já fez, ótimo. Vá agora fazer essa parte relacionada a Simple Present, tem o workbook. Na próxima aula, a gente faz uma pequena revisão de Present Continuous. Sim, Danilo, pode dizer.
Boa noite, professora. Eu queria saber só em relação às faltas, se eu ultrapassei o limite ou algo do tipo.
Eu ainda não fiz o somatório de faltas, mas eu vou fazer. Aí eu já mando. Eu posso fazer assim, eu posso... A última aula é quarta, né? Quinta não, tô ficando doida, sorry. Yes. Eu faço o apurado e já posso mandar uma fotinho para o grupo de todas as... Se alguém tiver extrapolado em algumas poucas, o que está justificado, beleza. Se alguém tiver extrapolado muito, aí eu posso pensar em se a pessoa pode entregar alguma coisa para... Tá certo? Então, eu vou agora, quando terminar a aula de vocês, já vou começar a dar baixa e ver como é que estão as coisas, e aí eu já mando para vocês o somatório de faltas. De hoje para amanhã vocês devem receber,
Tá
alright?
bom, então. Obrigado, professora.
Micael, quarta-feira.
Acho que eu tô na quantidade certa, mas só para garantir mesmo. Que vai que eu tenha faltado, não sei.
Deixa eu só fazer aqui minha chamadinha. Amanda. Eu tô aqui com o semestre 1, sorry, just a second. Amanda.
Present.
Here. And then Carolina. Danilo.
Presente, professora. Professora, na última aula eu saí antes do horário. E eu
Olá.
não. Mas você colocou minha presença, eu não sei.
Yes. Na verdade, eu comecei a fazer e desisti no meio do caminho, que já estava tão tarde, aí ficou todo mundo presente. André. All right, André. Gabriele.